So for the past 2 years that I've owned this truck, I've been driving it like a bat out of hell, and it's been really good so far. But the other day, the truck got tired of my abusive behavior and pretty much said, "Fuck you, Gabe. Fuck you." And the slave cylinder pretty much blew on it. Here's a brand new one, so I'm gonna replace that. $15 at AutoZone. And while I'm down there, I'm gonna also replace the carrier bearing, which is kind of messed up from probably my standstill burnouts. And while I'm also down there, I'm gonna replace the diff fluid and the transmission fluid. I'm pretty sure it's never been replaced. It's a 91 Nissan pickup truck, and the carrier bearing was $79 at AutoZone, and pretty good prices. You know, they can't even, not even eBay could beat them. Here's a little bit of anti-seize, so when I put things back together. So let me get to work. Alright, since I'm down here right now, I'm also going to be changing the diff fluid to some Valvoline. It is, for the transmission, I'm going to run fully synthetic. For the back, I'm going to run 75 weight 90 gear oil, Valvoline. And the transmission is going to get full synthetic, which I have right here. Actually, no, wait, it's a Durablend synthetic. That's going in the tranny, 80/90. Pretty much comes off with a 3/4 ratchet drive. The magnetic is your bottom. The other one is, you know, your refill. And there it is. It's pretty tight. Got to give it some extra oomph in there, you know, to get that out. Well, I've never done this before, but it looks pretty straightforward. The drive shaft, the U-joint, is held by 4 bolts, and there's the cracked carrier bearing that I'm going to be replacing. And so I'm going to undo those bolts, and I think that might just come out. Well, I'll give it a shot. Okay, with a 14mm wrench, I pretty much removed them. They weren't too tight. You will have to be turning the drive shaft and setting the e-brake to be able to get to them. And there's the drive shaft. This drops right down, and I gotta undo that. I gotta undo that nut right there, and it comes out a new one. And that all should slide out. And I believe this right here, this whole bracket is bolted in place. And I think that you get through this hole right here. So let me give that a shot next. Holy shit, that was tough. That little that nut was really tight. It's a 27mm. Oh, I'm using this big long torque. What is it called again? A torque. Geez, I can't think right now. Ratchet. Yeah. Well, I recommend doing something like that, holding that in place, because even though it was in first gear, it was still spinning. And oh my god, I even heated it and everything. That thing was a pain in the ass to get off, but now I finally broke it loose. Okay, so I finally got the first part of the drive shaft out of the truck. This part goes into the transmission. It's from the output shaft. This right here is held in place by 2 17mm bolts on each side. You take that out from the top. Tons of dirt was in there, so I had to dig it out. And then this pretty much just comes all the way out. Now I gotta get this off, and I'm gonna get it up against some. I'm gonna figure something out so I can get that off right now. That needs to come off, so I can put the new one in. Okay, what I ended up doing was I used this ladder here. I pretty much got this into the ball peen hammer on that sucker right there, and with this other hammer here, banged on it a few times, and it slid right out. Awesome. So here I am putting everything back together now with the 14mm wrench. Just tying these all back up. Just there it is. No more vibrations when I take off. Nice.